Today is the day that I am going to tackle my wardrobe. It's been well over a year since I've done this, from what I can remember. And I used to have 2 wardrobe clear outs a year, and I essentially just stopped consuming so much, I guess, fast fashion really. I was a Zara regular, and I used to always pop up to the local shopping centre and just pick up new items of clothing. And I know that I've mentioned this many times on my channel. I decided to switch to purchasing more high-end pieces and less of them, with the end goal of being able to have a capsule wardrobe that meant that I had lots of wearable and hopefully longer lasting garments, which in most cases is the case. The only times that tends to fall short would be if there's an accident during the washing process. If, for example, I snag and get caught on something and it rips or puts a hole into the fabrics, or as you saw on my last video with the sneakers that I brought from Brunello, they just get trashed really quickly. Now, I think that shoes in general are an item that sits within the wardrobe and you never expect to last that long when they're made out of suede. If it was a leather pair of shoes, then yes, I'd expect those to last for years, but white trainers tend to show up their discrepancies quite a lot, and also suede shoes as well don't really tend to last for too long. Not in all cases. My darker fabric suedes obviously are very good at disguising the marks that they obtain over the years, but the lighter coloured stuff definitely is a lot harder to make last as long. But in general, I'd say it's been quite successful because I haven't ended up having to do as many clear outs as I used to do. So that's great. It doesn't mean I'm spending less money because I'm buying higher price point pieces. I'm just buying less of them. Rather than buying 10 tops from Zara, I might get 1 top off of Farfetch or My Teresa. But it's been a nice little journey, and I'm slowly building up a nice wardrobe, which is fantastic. And speaking of my wardrobe, something actually that I don't think I've even referenced on my channel was that there was a goal to completely redo this room, because when I designed and worked on this room, I was very much new into interiors and I didn't have a clear vision. And I wouldn't even say that Lids and I had a clear vision at that point of exactly what we wanted the house to be, how we wanted it to feel, how we wanted it to look, and we were still working on creating a more cohesive house. And so this room became a little bit of a mix mash. It had inspiration that was pulled from a few different interior design styles, and it wasn't terrible, but it definitely wasn't complementary within the room itself to each different element. So I went for like quite a Nordic style desk, and then you've got these sort of more Parisian styled pillars on the wardrobe, and the general house now is kind of like rustic country living, and this room doesn't really have any of that in it. So I was going to redo this room. However, you would have seen recently on Lydia's channel, I think, that we are potentially looking at moving. I don't want to invest a huge amount of money putting in new wardrobes when the room is functioning like that as it is. There are other areas of the house that definitely need our attention more and could do with that budget being allocated to. So I spoke with Lids, and she said that she has quite a good idea what she would love to do with this room, which means that I don't need to change much, which essentially is a paint job and then just changing some of the furnishings that are in here. So at the moment I've got these 2 blue chairs, the desk, because of course this used to be my office wardrobe. I'll just stick some nicer, maybe some antique pieces in here, and just some items that align more with the rest of the house, and that will kind of bring it all in together without spending ridiculous amounts of money. That's just a little bit of an update of what was going on in the wardrobe. But today I do need to have a little bit of a tidy down, and also just go through items of clothing that just doesn't fit me anymore. I've clung on to suits for a very long time, and I've also slightly changed the way in which my clothes fit. I used to very much lean towards the very tight fitting kind of attire. I now find that A, extremely uncomfortable, but B, it was slightly more trend led at that moment in time. And I want to wear clothing that is slightly more timeless, and clothing that's going to be able to last for a long period of time. So as I'm slowly adding to my wardrobe with those pieces, I'm also going to have to get rid of some of the items that I've had for a very long time, but very much sit in the old category of clothing that I used to buy. Now, some of the pieces are like really beautiful navy blue timeless suits that would work perfectly if they fitted me correctly. They are just super skin tight on the legs and I never wear them. Clothes are there to be worn, not to be sat in somebody's wardrobe unworn. And so I've got a rough idea of the plan of action today, but I am going to be pretty ruthless because I am far too soft when it comes down to clearing out my wardrobes and my cupboards, because I'm like, oh, I might need that one day. And you know what, sod's law, when I get rid of it, within the month, I'll be going, oh, where's that jacket? I could do with that for work, because, you know, when I'm doing my reels and my videos, I recently did a video for Sky where I was dressing up in characters inspired by films, or some of the items of clothing that featured in that series weren't necessarily things that I'm wearing at the moment or tend to grab. And so I tend to hold on to stuff in case those instances come into play. But I find that what ends up happening is I end up getting a wardrobe full of clothes, or at least a large proportion of clothing that really should have been rehomed, and instead it's sitting in my wardrobe for a just in case reason. And so I'm going to be a bit more ruthless today. And I think rather than talk you through everything I'm doing, I'm just going to run a time lapse, because that way my workflow and my productivity will be much better, and it's quite a large job, so I just want to get cracking on with it and get as much done as possible. But before we do that, I went to Vista Village recently with Lydia and I picked up a couple of pieces that I wanted to share with you, so I thought we'd quickly do that now before we get stuck into doing the wardrobe. It's also because I need to do it now, because I need to get it unpacked and hung up in the wardrobe once everything's been organised. Okay, so first purchase from Vista Village is this very special, and the argument that Liz and I had was, is this green or is this light grey? You see? I want to know what your opinion is. Let me know what colour you think this jacket is, but it's a very special pinstripe single-breasted jacket from Brunello Cucinelli, and I wanted to have this jacket as just a standalone jacket, so not as a suit, something that I can wear for both casual and formal occasions. So this would work really nicely if I was trying to wear like a mix and match suit, but also it would work nicely if I was just going out for dinner and I wanted to chuck a jacket on. That was my first item that I picked up. And the second item that I selected was from Loro Piana. I'm not sure how clearly you can see, but it's a 100% virgin wool long sleeved polo shirt, and it's got quite a nice weight to it. The fabric's quite thick. It's a top that will carry really nicely as a standalone in autumn, and then in winter it'll be a perfect piece for layering up. But it's very classic, it's very timeless, and the fabric, as I said, is just unreal. So I'm going to do my best to look after this. It will be a dry clean piece, I'm sure. Two very lovely pieces from Vista Village. And I also picked up a dressing gown from Soho Home. They're very, very soft. I've got one in like a beigey camel-y colour, and I've now got one in a green, which I'm sure Lydia will be borrowing lots off of me because they come in one size. So they were my pickups from Vista Village. Didn't go too crazy. And then I did place an order on Luca Filoni. I actually doubled up on their white linen shirt because they hands down have the best linen shirts on the market that I've experienced to date. I think the fabrics are really, really nice. Like, the linen is just the right thickness. It holds its shape really well. It doesn't crease too much, and it just looks really lovely. I can't describe it. I really like the collars on their shirts as well. So I just doubled up and brought another white linen shirt. I also got a black cotton shirt from them as well, because I really wanted to wear an outfit where I had white trousers and a black shirt on. I think it's quite a smart look. It's quite monochrome, but I think it looks quite smart, and I didn't have a black shirt to wear that fitted me. So I decided, you know what, I should have a black shirt in my wardrobe. And so I picked up one from Luca Filoni, knowing how well their shirts fit. So that is my recent pickups. And then of course, if there's any items that I want to add for the autumn season, then of course I'll do that as we come into it, because some of my jackets I've had for like 5 years. They're holding up quite well. There's a few stains on them that I haven't been able to get out. But in general, I've got a nice little collection of long coats. So yeah, I'm just going to have quite a ruthless clear out today, so I'm going to have to take that call and then we'll get busy sorting this wardrobe out. I've just emptied out my suit and trouser area, so I've got the trousers just here at the front. I'm going to check to see to make sure all of those are still fitting okay. I've then got my jackets and suits here. I've organised them in two piles. This is a pile of jacket and suits that I don't need to try on because I know they fit because they've been worn or recently purchased. And then this selection over here are a group of suits and jackets that are from years ago, and I need to make sure that they're still fitting. So you can see that recently I've been experimenting a little bit more of colour. So I've gone for some light tops, green, burgundies, as in previously I was very navy and black. But I've also pulled out all of my pants and socks because I also only wear black and white pants and socks, aside from I recently picked up these nude colour Ralph Lauren pants, and they're boxer briefs, but they're like my go-to colourways of pants, and I've got so many socks and pants I need to organise through those a little bit. Also got some trousers that I need to go through as well, so they're like golf trousers that have been put to one side, so there'll possibly be some in there that are going. And this is currently what that space looks like. Well, I always underestimate how long this takes, but so far we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 jackets, some of which are suits. We've also got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 pairs of trousers that are also going. These are all the trousers and jackets that fit. Within that, I think there's about 4 or 5 suits, so the majority of that you can see are actually just jackets. I've got 2 pairs of golf trousers, which are all that I own, at the bottom, 4 pairs of gloves. I've got my ties and pocket squares still, and then sorted out black pant drawer, and then my whites with my suit socks as well. Well, we're closing up shop for the day. I have this pile down here and the clothes on the rail over there. They're going for sure. These jackets need organising. The Brunello Cucinelli jacket and the Hugo Boss green trousers need to go to the tailor. I have had all of this out and it's all gone back in again. I do need to try on a couple of these pieces up here. Because I think a couple of tops might go. The same with the knits. I took the knits out. I think there might be a couple of knits that I need to try on. And then the drawers at the bottom have also been organised as well. So it's amazing. I've basically just touched this section here and this section here, and I've been on it for hours. So it takes so long to go through everything. But I guess that's halfway through. So we've got the end cupboard, which actually goes all the way back on the low level as well, quite far, and then we've got this section here which isn't too bad because it's just predominantly some hoodies and long jackets. So the next time I'm in here I'll pick the camera back up and we'll finish this mammoth task. Right, it is time to take the dogs out for a walk. It looks like it's going to be a lovely evening. Switched across to the phone because it's a little bit easier, but we're going solo tonight. Liz isn't feeling too well, so it's just me and the puppies. Look at what these hydrangea Annabelles are doing. Amazingly. Just to give you context to size, this thing's a beast. You can see just along the top up there, that's where the fire took place over the weekend. The farmer lost a few acres of his crop, which is really sad, but fortunately they managed to save all of this. What you can hear there is a green woodpecker. Noisy little fella. Beautiful evening. We're under strict orders not to leave these boys unattended with their bones. Strict orders from you. Yeah. How beautiful was last night's sunset? It was a real treat. I got home and I felt a little bit bad for Lids because I know that she absolutely loves those walks, and it was a spectacular sunset last night. But I managed to document it really well on my phone, so she got to enjoy it through my phone, which is the second best thing, right? But anyway, I am heading down to London this morning. I have a meeting and then I have a fitting, and then I might get an opportunity to do a few photos as well. So we're gonna have hopefully quite a productive day. I have started off on the wrong foot. I'm running late. I think I've missed my train, so I probably shouldn't be standing here now vlogging, but I just accepted defeat and I'm just gonna have to be a little bit late, hopefully not too late. But I am going to jump in the car, make my way down to the train station, and hopefully there won't be any train delays. Well, we've just arrived to Ave Mario, which is a restaurant on Henrietta Street. Chef's working. We are going to enjoy some Italian cuisine today.
This is what I want to achieve. I'm there like...
Well, I'm not one for filming in the toilet, but this place is pretty cool. Take a look at this bar. Fully stocked out. I bet they've got every single spirit going in here. This is absolutely relentless stock of spirits. We've just popped into Suit Supply. Loving the colour palettes here. Got some really nice pieces. Welcome to Piccadilly. So we just arrived to our next appointment at Theory. At some pieces in the Theory store. And here are some selects that I'm going to be working with. Coming up on Insta. Love these trousers. So the brand was founded in New York City, and it's all about kind of day to night urban classics. Tech two-piece suits, basic tees. The fabric feels nice and soft on them as well. And then we've got these cool like overshirt jackets. And as you can see, they've got the elasticated cuffs. So yeah, we are going to try some of these items on and piece together some looks. Well, we're at a stage of my wardrobe that I always struggle with, so I've asked for help. And in doing so, there was a request for comfort. So I set up some fans and a chair, because it's very hot in the loft today. But we're going to go through these two rails and we're going to decide out of these jackets what's going, what's staying. I've already made some cuts, so I've got rid of a lot of like the more urban style stuff. I had this Givenchy jacket for a very long time. That's going.
Oh, thank gosh for that.
I've got the diesel pilot jacket. I actually love this jacket. Do you know who will take this off my hands?
Who?
Rahul. He'll have that.
Oh yeah,
he'll
that's
love
a
that.
very Rahul jacket.
Yeah, and then just a lot of slightly more urban bits, and then some jackets that I just felt like didn't cut the mustard quality wise anymore. Just like a Sherlin from Zara. So I'm going to go through these and you're going to let me know what's in and what's out. I've done the long coats behind. I've decided that I'm going to get rid of 2 of the beige long coats and replace it with a nice good quality one. And then...
It was on my arm.
It was. We've got the fragrances to go through and I'll get everything put back into this cupboard and we'll be good. So let's let the process begin.
I don't love anything that looks like a denim jacket kind of thing.
Right.
But open, I don't like it closed.
Yeah, so like a white t-shirt.
Yeah, I think that's nice. I don't think you'll wear it, but I think that's nice.
Don't think I wear this.
I've never seen you wear it.
Yeah, I have in the winter. These are winter sleeves, not summer.
I've never seen you wear it.
Nice green jacket. Okay.
Yeah, I think you need to keep that. That's new.
Yeah, I know, but it doesn't mean it needs to stay.
No, I think you need to keep that for winter.
Yeah. Sort of more of a functional.
Yeah, I don't think that's like a needs to style up kind of thing. That's like that should live in the dog.
The dog cupboard.
The dog cupboard.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
So this needs to go.
Yeah.
Do you want me to show you people styling in sartorial fashion with
No.
these jackets? They do it.
Yeah, but I don't
And
care.
It's smart.
I don't care.
Yeah? You
Yeah.
don't think that's the one.
If you think it is, it's up to you. But I don't think that there is anything smart about it.
No?
No.
It doesn't have to be smart. It's about. It's about like.
I like it when you
diversifying.
when you wear things that are smart, babe.
Yeah.
I don't like it when you wear things that are cool and trendy.
It's not necessarily cool and trendy.
I think that camo jacket is the epitome of scruffy. I don't think that they look cool at all.
Right, I think they do look cool. So if you weren't here, I probably would have kept those two. That's why I want you here.
Not that they can see me or anything. Hello. I feel like I'm on. This is like the fashion X Factor. I love herringbone. Why are all of your jackets like these weird zip up things?
Yeah. Obviously had a phase, didn't it?
Yeah. It's. I think it's smart. It fits you nicely on the shoulders. Do you wear it?
I do wear this, yeah.
I can imagine that being quite nice with like an all black outfit, black boots.
Yeah.
So I would say that I don't see a lot of herringbone. It's something that you haven't got in your wardrobe, personally.
Okay.
Keep.
Okay.
No, that's a very nice shirt. Keep that. Fits you very nicely.
And
Yeah. That's a very nice shirt.
now I think I know what the answer is to this.
No.
This is a corduroy
No.
jacket. No? Gone.
Personally, I don't like that.
Okay.
It looks like urban.
So the jacket that we're discussing is this here. I found this really comfortable last year. I wore it quite a lot. Lydia thinks it might look a bit too urban. But I have to override her decision on this one.
No. It just looks so rubbish. No.
So I'm not sure about this one either.
Yeah.
Like whenever I put it, I bought it and I'm like, that's a really nice jacket. But then every time I try and style it up, I feel like it's an it'll do jacket
Yeah.
rather than and it's a lovely jacket, but it's something not quite right.
Yeah.
But Tom Ford and stuff sell these
Mhm.
sort of jackets,
Mhm.
which is why they're popular.
Mhm.
I don't know anything else like it, but it is a bit tight.
I like it on you. It fits you nicely.
Yeah.
But if you think it's haggard, I don't think it's haggard.
Well, it's just like if you look at the shoulder.
No, I see what you mean.
I wear it when I travel
Yeah.
because it's comfortable, it's light, it's easy, and it's also, it's just like simple. So it's simple cut-in hems. It's a nice fabric, it's a nice colour, goes with a lot of my wardrobe,
Very minimalist.
but it is being eaten alive. I was just showing lids on the shoulder. You can see.
These are little munchies.
Wow. So this is a homemade
Homegrown.
and homegrown, apart from obviously the base.
Oh yeah, the homemade and the courgette is homegrown, and then the herbs.
What would you call it? It's like a flatbread.
It's a pastry. It's like a courgette and mozzarella.
Nice. You're a happy boy. You're a happy boy, aren't you? Yes. Good morning, it's a new day. It is extremely hot here in the UK at the moment and I am all for it, but it's not going to deter me from getting this stuff sorted in my wardrobe. So The mission continues. I actually did a little bit of work yesterday evening that I didn't document, so I'm just going to get you up to speed with everything that's going on. Current situation in the wardrobe is there's a rail behind this rail of stuff that you've already seen that are going to be sent away. We have the items in the rail just in front of us here. This is predominantly jackets and golf stuff that needs to be organised. And then yesterday, I actually tackled my shoe cupboard. Now, this is not completely finished, but I wish I'd have shown you this before I started, because this was fully racked of shoes, top to bottom, and then the floor had a pile of shoes. So I've been working through this, and as you can see, it's a lot lighter in here at the moment. There may be 1 or 2 extra pieces that go in. Look at the colour of the soles on my original Loro pianos compared to the new ones. This is the issue that we have, and I spoke to them about it, and they said it's all part of the character and aging of the shoe, aka embrace it, mate. But they are so yellow, I'm not sure if I like it. I prefer the slightly off-white tones of the new fresh pair. But talking of these, I know that I've gone on about the summer walks so much recently. I've now found a pair of moccasins that fit me perfectly, and they are just here. They are from Suit Supply. They cost £200, and I'm not going to lie, they are basically a complete rip-off of the Loro Piana shoes. If I just give you a quick in-cupboard comparison between the two shoes. So if I was to put those side by side, you can see that there's slightly higher tongue out the top on the Loro Piana. The inner soles on the Suit Supply are soft, and on the Loro Piana they're hard, so they've used a harder insert. The stitching on the front is slightly neater on the Loro Piana, as you can see just down here. It's a much tidier stitch in comparison to the Suit Supply. The actual size, width, soles of the shoes are pretty much identical. The only difference is the tread. There's just a slight brick pattern tread on the Loro Pianas, and there's lines, I don't know if you can see, but there are lines on the Suit Supply ones. But the width of the shoe, which is the bit that I was concerned about, they are identical in width. They're pretty much the same shoe, and the design, the sole on these are exactly the same, which is the most important part. So I stand by the fact that the Loro Piana shoes are a better crafted and quality shoe, and I would tend to go for the Loro Piana in general, but I think that the Suit Supply loafers or moccasins are an amazing option. They cost £200. I think the summer walks are around about £650 to £700, so it's a huge difference. You can get 3 pairs of these for the cost of one of those. So a little bit of a summer walk hack. If you're looking for these shoes and you have issue with sizes, definitely check out Suit Supply. Really impressed actually by what I saw in store there and these particular shoes. So I will not talk about these on my channel anymore, I promise. They're done and dusted, mission accomplished, 3 vlogs in. These are undecided, this section here. I don't know what I'm going to do with those. These are trainers. These are my sneaker collection that will probably go down in the boot room cupboard, because I tend to grab my sneakers for runs and stuff there. And then these are trainers that have been removed from the cupboard. As you can see there, we've got a little variation of shoes that will be going. And then these are sneakers that are in brand new condition that I'm going to probably sell. I'm not 100% sure yet what I'm going to do with them. The Puma high tops, the Balenciagas, the Oliver Sweeney navy trainers. I do love those trainers, by the way. They just hurt my feet. They were too small. I needed to size up. The Arden suede Chelsea boots. Again, these are incredible Chelsea boots. They are brand new. They've never been worn. They're just too narrow for my feet. So just like I had the issues with the moccasins, when I put my feet in, it crushes my feet and it really hurts. And so I just need a wider fit. So that's a shame, because I love how high they made these. They're constructed really nicely. The Dr. Martens, I have worn these a couple of times, but they're just not really my style. I think I got sucked into a bit of a high black leather boot trend in the winter, and I ended up purchasing these and maybe regretted it. The Yeezys, again, these look like marshmallows on my feet. They're just not really my kind of style or vibe. Very cool trainers, but just not for me. I'm not urban enough. And then similar issues with fit and comfort. These are mostly brand new unworn shoes. So yeah, these are going. So are those, and we've got through most of the trainers. We've now actually got a much more modest shoe collection. I'm not actually sure what is normal for people to have in terms of a collection. There are certainly some footwear pieces that I would still like to have that I've never owned, but I'd like to. There is now space for some new additions in the footwear department, and I said to Liz today, I've just got to tackle all of this. So we are going to be tackling the two-end wardrobes, as well as my fragrances. So these fragrances that you can see at the front were just fragrances that were just stuck in my shoe cupboard. They shouldn't live in there. I've got a fragrance basket and a stash down here that needs to be sorted out alongside the long coats. And then of course I've got this set of fragrances here, and then underneath I've got fragrances that I need to go through as well. So I'm going to have a smell, see what's going to stay, what's going to go. I don't think I would physically get through all of these fragrances in my lifetime if I tried. So we'll have to have a good look at all of this and see which fragrances are going to stay. Don't get me wrong, I'll probably keep way more than I need, but in general we are probably about 100 bottles too heavy for my storage capacity. So I'm going to lighten the load, and hopefully then later on today I'm going to be able to get out and enjoy this absolutely beautiful weather, because I don't think it's going to last for much longer. It's not often that we get these sort of strong spells of great weather in the UK, so it feels kind of wrong to be up here, but this needs to be done, and I've put this off now for a few days. Also got the cupboard to do as well through there, which is going to be a big task. I felt like I'd ended that video a little bit prematurely, so I'm going to slot this in just before. This is my newly organised wardrobe. I've got rid of the two blue chairs that were here and the centre table. I'm going to be getting rid of the rug and the desk and the chair, and also the stand behind as well. Probably the trunk and stuff, ahead of having this room completely redecorated and furnished. We're not going to be going too crazy, as I mentioned, because we are keeping the same wardrobes. But essentially, on the sale of the property, we would probably put a sofa bed in here, which would come out and give you a built-in wardrobe section in the bedroom. There's also a nice little housing here that you could put a TV on, because there's power and everything over here on the left. So this would work really well for putting a little freestanding TV in, which would be right at the feet of your bed if your bed was here. So anyway, I am not going to do what I did a second ago, but after this little segment it's going to look like we've gone back in time and there's going to be fragrances all over the floor, but this is actually the finished job. And I've selected a new collection of fragrances that I'm going to be trying out over the coming months. I won't run through every single one of them. I've got my Parfum de Marly fragrances on the left. I haven't had Percival for quite a while on, so that would be really nice to try. This little column here are all of my to be used up fragrances, so there's like hardly anything left in the bottles, so all of these need clearing up. And then this is my new experiment section, just here. I haven't really wore any of these fragrances too much at all. We've got Tom Ford, Acqua de Parma, Hermes and Issey Miyake. And then this is also part of that selection, this A la Rose, which will be a nice floral scent, something that will be a little bit different to what I'm used to wearing. I've also put in the Wood Neroli from Bulgaria as well, because when this fragrance finishes, the Terry, which I absolutely love, that will be filling its spot. I've got the Boss EDP, Yves Saint Laurent, and then over here are my most recent fragrances in general. So we've got Apex by Roger, and of course my Large Sam Perfumer. So yeah, that's what's like go-to little section at the moment. And I've also organized all of the fragrances, which are now all visible, which is really helpful. So when I come down and I want to try something new, or I want something particular, I'm not familiar with every single fragrance, but I know most of the fragrances in here, what I'm going to get from them. So if I wanted something for an evening, I might be looking for something quite strong, such as Louboutin on the left. Or if I wanted something that was quite citrusy, then I would find a citrusy fragrance. They're all over the place, but I'd be grabbing, you know, something like D&G Light Blue Sun. And then if I wanted something for like a slightly more sportier occasion, I've got the Cost Match Point over here. I've got Legend by Mont Blanc here. This is the Spirit version. So yeah, I've got a nice, easy visual collection of fragrances here that I can just navigate through nice and easily. So I'll just pop up, read what they say, and away we go. Jo Malone fragrances are always a hit. They always get complimented very well. So anyway, that's where we're at with the fragrance section of the wardrobe, and also just in general, the wardrobe itself. It's just a nice, clean, open space now. Much easier to navigate around and a lot tidier, which was the whole point of this exercise. So I am going to cut in right here the scene where I'm showcasing you all of the fragrances that are on the floor here. Okay, so it's currently 10 p.m. I'm still going. I've just lined up my fragrances into basically brand piles. So they're just organized in brands, but also if I haven't got any other fragrances from the brands, they're just sitting at the back there. What I'm going to do is just select a few fragrances. It's not necessarily the best fragrances out of all of this lot. It's just some of the fragrances that I either want to try or I've been recently enjoying during the hotter weather. And I'm just going to pull them out and I'm going to position them in here. I've already grabbed the Parfum de Marly, Hautane and Percival. I'm going to be trying Trussardi because I've not used much of that. I'm going to give Creed another go. I've worn it a couple of times now. Nobody's said anything. I've not had any compliments on that yet, which is surprising because I thought that was going to be one that everyone was going to be like, you're wearing Creed. You know, it's quite powerful and strong, and maybe it's just people are so familiar with the scent now, they just don't say anything, they just know. I wore the Apex fragrance the other day when I went to the barber's, and my barber liked it so much he asked me to send a picture of the bottle. The Penhaligon's Halfati, one of Lydia's favourite fragrances at the minute. I'll probably grab a Bulgari fragrance. One of the Carolina Herrera fragrances will go up there for sure. Tom Ford Ombre Leather. Lydia doesn't like it, but I wear that when I'm going out with my boys. It'd probably be rude not to grab a Dior fragrance. Maybe for something sporty, I might grab one of the Lacoste bottles. One of these Saint Laurent fragrances will come with me. I might grab Dolce & Gabbana, the one, just because that needs finishing off. Lots to choose from. I think I'm going to open these soon as well. We've got the Sadig and Voltaire, the Serge Lutens, and we also have Narciso Rodriguez. I've never tried one of his fragrances. I've also not tried, or I hadn't even heard of, Serge Lutens or Lutens. I was recently introduced to this brand, and so I need to do a little bit of research and find out a little bit more information about Serge. Opening those soon, but I need to get all of these back and organised. I'm going to make the assumption that this video is probably far too long already, so I'm going to take the opportunity. We're not quite finished. I am going to wrap this stuff up on the floor in a second, but before I do, I just wanted to sign off the video, and I think that's been quite a successful wardrobe clear out and tidy. It makes me feel so good when I do this. I feel cleansed, I feel organised. And I was also thinking, I think if you have so much stuff in your wardrobes, just like the fragrances, I've got far too many fragrances. You have to remember that part of my job is to work in fragrance. And so I'm very fortunate that I get the opportunity to try lots of new releases and lots of new fragrances. So That's why I have so many. I know it's not normal, but in general, like with my clothes and stuff, I need to stay on top of not having too much, because what I was going to say is if you have too much stuff, you end up not using as much as you would if you had less. And that may sound a bit weird, but I think it can be a bit overwhelming when you open up your wardrobe and you've just got so many clothes. You don't really know exactly what you've got. You just go for the safe, easy and same stuff. So when you've got a little bit less, you're probably more likely to see exactly what it is you have, and you should be able to get more wear out of. Not sure if that logic makes exact sense, but I feel like that's how I find things go for me. If I've got too much stuff in my wardrobe, I'm like, wow, there's just so much going on in here, and I just grab what I know that I've got and remember I have, rather than actually looking through everything because it'll take too long. So yeah, hopefully this is a good step to ensure that I get full use out of my wardrobe. So soon we are going to be decorating and probably refurnishing this room a little bit. I've contacted a carpenter who's going to come in and basically fix up any of the hinges and doors that have become a little bit loose, and latches that need sorting, and then we're going to decorate this room, refurnish it, and I think that will do for in here. So stay tuned for that. That'll probably be coming at some stage in the near future, and I'm going to enjoy the rest of my weekend. So take care, have a good rest of the week, and we'll be seeing you next Wednesday at 5 p.m. Peace.